Right. What is the agenda for today's class is, I'm going to take this class for next 60 minutes. In the next 60 minutes, what you will learn, let me write here. So you will learn introduction to Power BI, guys. This session is about introduction to Power BI software. In order to learn Power BI, first you need to learn, we can understand Power BI only when you understand data analysis. If you understand data analysis, then only you can understand Power BI. For that reason, what I'll do is, first I'll try to explain about data analysis. First you will learn in today's class, what is data analysis? And once you learn data analysis, then you will try to understand Power BI. Then you will learn what is Power BI. What is Power BI? Okay, once you understand about data analysis and Power BI, then we will learn how to perform data analysis using Power BI. How to perform data analysis using a software called Power BI. These are the 3 points you will learn in today's class, in the introduction class. These 3 are important. Let's start with what is data analysis. Online people, just tell me what is data analysis. There are many definitions available. You guys tell me what you know about data analysis. Anybody here?
Data analysis, yeah, data analysis means we can analyze the data to get the meaningful reports.
Right, correct. Data analysis, I can tell it's a process. It's anywhere when I said it's a process means collection of steps. When I said data analysis is one process means collection of steps. Let me show you what are the different steps available in the data analysis. You are telling data analysis contains multiple steps, right? I'll just go and open what are the different steps available in data analysis. I'll show you. Now you go here. These are the 5 different steps available in data analysis. Okay, you will understand every point. Data analysis contains first step as OLTP, step 2 as ETL, step 3 as OLAP, step 4 as creating reports, step 5 as sharing the reports to the clients. These 5 steps together, we call it as data analysis, guys. To be more specific, I can even tell data analysis is a 5-step process. What I can tell? Data analysis contains how many steps? 5-step process. What that 5-step process will do? That 5-step process will convert company's business data into actionable information. In this 5 steps, in the data analysis, you'll convert your company's business data into some meaningful information. As someone said, so data analysis, you'll convert into meaningful information, you said, right? You'll convert company's business data into actionable information, meaningful information. That's what data analysis will do. Okay, we will understand these 5 steps in a detailed way. Let me graphically show you how the data analysis will look like. I'm just going to open one image here. This image, I can call it as data analysis image or business intelligence image. I can call it as either business intelligence or I can call it as either data analysis. This image is either business intelligence, data analysis, both are same. This will contain how many steps? 5 steps. What are the 5 steps? I said that data analysis contains 5 steps. First step is OLTPs. Second step is ETL. Third step is OLAP. Fourth step is creating reports or visualizations. Fifth step is sharing them with the clients. I want to make you understand these 5 steps in detail. That 5 steps will convert company's business data into a meaningful information or actionable information. What is that meaning? We will learn. Let me write first what are the 5 steps you have. First step you'll have is OLTP. Tell me guys, what is the second step? ETL. And what is the third step? OLAP. What is the fourth step? Creating reports. What is the fifth step? Share reports to whom? Clients. These are the 5 steps available in where? Data analysis, guys. Data analysis is a 5-step process. This 5 steps, I call it as data analysis. Okay. Before I make you understand these 5 steps, I'll make you understand what ETL means. what OLAP means, what reports means, why we need to share. I'll discuss. Before that, let me discuss like this. Okay, data analysis is there and it contains 5 steps. Now the question is, who will use data analysis? Who will use what? Data analysis is the question. Who will use these 5 steps? I can say each and every company will perform data analysis. No matter a company is a big company or a small company, every company need to perform this data analysis, guys. Let me give you explanation about this point. Each uh, each and every company, no matter whether it's a big company or small company, every company need to perform data analysis. Let me tell you like this. When there is any company, take any company, write few random company names. Flipkart is one company. Yes, please. Flipkart is one company. Amazon is one company. ICICI is one company. I'll add this institute name. Analytics Benchmark is one company. And I can keep on adding the company names, guys, here. When there is any company, the company will do some business. You tell me, Flipkart is doing what business? I'm trying to explain why every company want to perform data analysis. Why every company want to perform these 5 steps. I'm going to explain now. Flipkart is doing e-commerce business. Amazon is also doing e-commerce business. ICICI is doing banking business. Banking business or financial business. Analytics Benchmark is into education sector. When there is any company, that company will do some business. When a company is doing the business, they'll get business data. What they'll get? Business data, guys. You see, when Flipkart is doing e-commerce business, what type of data they'll get? From the e-commerce business, they'll get orders related data. They'll get returns related data. They'll get customers related data. They'll get products related data. They'll get sales related data. If I keep on writing, I can write other data also. Okay, that's fine. Even Amazon is also doing e-commerce business. They also get this kind of similar data. You tell me now, ICICI is doing banking business. Online people just tell me what type of data, business data they'll get when they do the banking business. Few examples you tell me. What? Transactions data. What is the data? Day-to-day transactions is the business data for them. Savings account data, credit card data, loans data, insurance data, and so on. Like this, when there is any company, when they do the business, they'll get the business data. Same way, this analytics benchmark, we are into education sector, right? When we are into this field, we also get the business data. The important business data for us is students data. Students data is the most important business data for us. Students data, staff related data, courses related data, fee related data. I can write lot of other data also here. You name any company, let them do any business. It will produce lot of data. Nowadays, companies are getting lot of business data, guys. What the company generally do is, when the company is getting the business data, it will be stored. Some companies will store the business data in the Excel files. Some companies will store the business data in the SQL Server database. Some companies will store the business data in the Oracle database or some other place also. Not only these 3 places, guys, I write some example. Some companies will store in MySQL database. Some companies will store in DB2 database. I can keep on writing different. So we call them as data sources. Try to understand. When a company is getting the business data, that will be stored in a place called data source. We can call it as either data source in the software terminology. Wherever we store the business data, I can call it as either data source or OLTP, guys. We'll talk about it. Wherever we store the business data, that I can call it as data source or OLTP. I'll talk more about it. So examples is, some companies will store in Excel data source. Some companies will store in Oracle database. Some companies will store in MySQL database. Some companies will store in DB2 database, and so on. I can write. So whatever the business data company is getting, that will be stored in some data source, guys. What is the next step is, once the business data is stored, they want to analyze the data. They want to, company, what next they want to do with the data is, whatever the data they stored here, they want to use the data for analysis purpose, analyze the data. Companies need to analyze the data, guys. Companies need to analyze the data means they need to understand. Analyzing the data means they need to understand where we are doing good, where we are doing bad. That is nothing but analyzing the data. So companies need to analyze the data to take better business decisions. Companies need to analyze the data to take business decisions. Business decisions, guys. Let's take an example. Flipkart is there. They are selling a lot of products. They want to analyze the products data. Which products are selling good? Which products are selling bad? Based on analyzing the data only, they will maintain the stock. Why the company need to analyze the data? The products which are selling good, they'll maintain more stock. The products which are selling bad, they'll maintain less stock. So in order to take which products I need to maintain more stock, less stock, I need to analyze the data. Any company, in order to take such decisions, they need to analyze the data. Take an example, one more example. Currently, ICICI Bank is operating in 1,000 branches. Take an example. They're operating in 1,000 branches, guys. Out of 1,000 branches, they are planning to close 10 branches. ICICI Bank is planning to close 10 branches. When they want to close 10 branches, will they randomly go and pick the 10 branches and close it, or what they will do? Online people, you tell me. When ICICI Bank want to close 10 branches, will they randomly pick it, or what they'll do? Hmm? Will they randomly go and pick and close it, or how they will close it?
They will analyze the report of the branches wise data first,
Hmm. So
and who
they
is
will
doing
go and
more
analyze
business, they
all the
will
1,000 branches data. Correct. They'll take all the 1,000 branches data and they'll do analysis. So when they do analysis, they will understand which branches are doing good, which branches are doing bad. They'll go to the branches which are doing bad and they'll pick the 10 branches and close it. In order to take which 10 branches to, this is the decision. What my company need to take. To take these decisions, they need to analyze the data. That's what I written here. Companies need to analyze the data to take better decisions. Without analysis, if you take the decisions, uh, you will get into the losses, guys. You will not take right decisions. Obviously, it will impact your business. Okay. So we are telling that we need to analyze the data to take decisions, right? Now the question is, to analyze the data, we require something called reports. Companies will analyze the data using reports. Companies will analyze the data using something called reports. Using something called reports. Let me show you some sample reports to you. How the reports are, how that reports will help companies to analyze the data, I'll tell you. Just try to understand how the reports will look like. Go to app.powerbi.com. I'm just trying to show some reports just to get the clarity, how the reports will look like. I'm just showing it. I'm just going to show you a couple of reports, open a couple of reports and show you. There is one report with the name called Artificial Intelligence Sample, Corporate Spend, E-commerce. I'm just opening a couple of reports here. Now go and see this one. I can call it as one report. This complete one, we can call it as a report, guys. Revenue opportunities report. This is how the reports will look like. This kind of reports are required to analyze the data. This is how the reports will look like. This is another report. This kind of reports are required for the companies to analyze the data. To analyze the data. Let me go to another report. This is another report. This I can tell it's another report. This kind of reports companies required for what purpose? This kind of reports companies required to analyze the data. Okay. This kind of reports are required to analyze the data, guys. Now, look at this. This is another report. This report name is e-commerce sales report. Try to understand the terminology. This complete one, I can call it as a report. And each one we can call it as a visual. Line chart is one visual. Column chart is one visual. Donut chart is one visual. Map is one visual. Sorry, scatter chart is one visual. Map is another visual. Each one we call it as visual. All the visuals together, I can call it as a report. Company required this kind of reports to analyze the data. Company required this kind of reports to analyze the data, guys. You go and see, you go and look at here. Companies required this kind of reports to analyze the data. Uh, uh, in this report, you are showing subcategory wise what? Sum of profit. Each subcategory, what is the profits you are showing in this visual? By looking at this visual, I can understand my company is selling a lot of different subcategories here. Subcategory wise, you have profits. By looking at this visual, I can understand which subcategories are generating highest profits. Online people tell me which subcategories is generating highest profits. Copiers is the one where we have more profits. Phones is the one where we have second highest profit. Which one have least profits? Tables. Tables are the one which have lowest profit. When you see the tables, their profit is negative, minus 18K. When you see the bookcases, their profit is minus 3K. When you see the suppliers, their profit is minus 1K. These three have numbers in negative. That means losses. What we understand from this visual is, we understand suppliers, bookcases, and tables are generating the losses here. When I share this visual with my company people, based on these visuals, my company people will take some decisions. Guys. What is the one decision my company people taken from this is, they are planning to stop selling suppliers, bookcases, and tables. Why they are planning to stop selling them? They are getting the losses. When I share the same visual with my company people, they take another decision to concentrate more on copiers business and phones business. Copiers and phones is generating highest profit. When they concentrate in this area, they will improve the profits. So that is that kind of decisions they'll take it. So try to understand. By using this kind of reports, companies require this kind of reports in order to analyze the data. Why companies need to analyze the data is, companies need to analyze the data to take better decisions. Any company which is planning to create the reports, they will not directly go on. People will have an assumption we'll directly go and create the report. But no, guys, before we create the report, we need to do a lot of background work. First, before to create the reports, first we need to do ETL. We'll came to know why we need to do it. Then you need to create OLAP database. Then you'll create the reports. So if you think that we'll create the reports directly, that's wrong, guys. Before creating the report, we'll do a lot of background work. So we call that background work for name as data analysis, guys. Any company which need to create these reports, they need to perform this complete process. We call that process as data analysis process. Write that point. Companies will create the reports by performing data analysis process. Companies will create reports by performing data analysis process. By performing what process? Data analysis process, guys. So final conclusion is, you take any company, every company, you take every company will perform data analysis, no matter whether it's a big company or small company. Why the companies will perform data analysis is, companies will perform data analysis to create the reports, to create reports. Why the companies need to create reports is to analyze the data, to analyze the data. So that reports will help me to understand where we are doing good, where we are doing bad. That I can easily understand by looking at the report. Report will tell where we are performing good, where we are performing bad. Why we need to analyze the data is, we need to analyze the data to take better business decisions. To take what? Better business decisions. Finally, any company who is planning to take some business decisions, must and should, they need to analyze the data. In order to analyze the data, they need to have reports. In order to create the reports, they need to perform data analysis. That is the reason every company will perform data analysis and create the reports and use to analyze the data and take the decisions. That is the flow. Okay, we don't want to spend much time here. Now we understand who will use data analysis means each and every company will perform it. Now let's try to understand these 5 steps, guys. Data analysis contains these 5 steps, right? Now let's try to understand, before we create the report, why we need to do these complete steps. I'll tell you now. So before I explain this, let me introduce a word called, who is data analyst? Who is data analyst? Who is data analyst means the person who will perform these 5 steps is a data analyst. Guys. The person who performs, the person who performs Data analysis is a data analyst. Is a what? Data analyst. The person who do this ETL, who create this OLAP database, who create the reports, who share the reports to the client. That person name is data analyst. Okay, that's fine. Now let's try to understand this 5 steps. Now you need to have when you want to become a data analyst, you need to aware of these 5 steps thoroughly. Let me give a brief idea today. What is OLTP? What is ETL? What is OLAP? What is reports? Everything I'll give you a brief idea. Why need to share it? First, let me start with OLTP. What is the full form for OLTP? Is OLTP stands for online transactional processing. Online transactional processing. What is the definition? Full form for OLTP is this. Let me write the definition. The place where companies stores business data we call as OLTP. Wherever we are storing our business data, that we can call it as OLTP. Let's say my company is storing the business data in the SQL server. We can call the SQL server as one OLTP. If my company is storing the business data in the Oracle database, you can call Oracle as OLTP. Wherever we store our data, business data, that is an OLTP. Yes. OLTP. Wherever we store the business data, we are calling it as OLTP. Don't think much about it. How you got this name is, another name for business data is transactional data. Transactional data. Business data also known as what? Business data also known as transactional data. So we are telling that we are storing transactional data. Where we store this transactional data, name itself is telling. Where we store transactional data, we are calling it as online transactional processing. In short, we call it as OLTP. Wherever we store transactional data, in short, we call it as OLTP. That's what I written here. The place where company stores business data or transaction data, we call it as OLTP. Okay, just a second. Place where companies store the business data or transaction data, we call it as what? OLTP, guys. So it's just a name. Don't think much about it. Wherever companies are storing the business data, software people will call it as OLTP. Not only OLTP, I already said that either you can call it as OLTP, either you can call it as data source also. Anything is same. Anything is same. Okay. Every company will have one or multiple OLTPs, guys. Every company will have what? Either one or multiple OLTPs to store what? To store their company's business data or transaction data, day-to-day data. Whatever the day-to-day data they are going to get to store it, they need OLTPs, guys. Final conclusion is a company might have one OLTP or a company might have multiple OLTPs also. Either single or multiple, where it will store the company's data. Now, okay. What is the next step is, we got an idea what is this OLTP. Companies will provide one or multiple OLTPs to the data analyst. What happens next? Companies will provide one or multiple OLTPs to your data analyst and ask to create reports. Ask to do what? Ask to create reports to analyze the data. Analyze the data. Okay. So who will provide this OLTPs to the data analyst? Means company already have them. They will hand over to the data analyst and ask to create the reports to analyze the data. An important point is we never go and create reports on OLTPs. So what is the reason? Online people tell me, what is the reason we never go and create reports directly on OLTPs? Anybody online people? Please tell me. Directly on OLTPs. We never create reports directly on OLTPs. One major reason, there are many reasons why we never go and create reports directly on OLTPs is, there are many reasons. In the upcoming classes, you will learn them. One reason is OLTPs contains raw data. Raw data. That raw data is not useful to create the reports. In 2 minutes, I'll show you what is raw data, why it is not useful for creating the reports. With small example, I'll show you. Raw data, also called it as unstructured data. As OLTPs contains unstructured data, raw data or unstructured data, which is not useful for creating the reports. Data analysts never create the reports directly on OLTPs. Never recommend. That's what I. Then what we need to do? Now what we need to do is data analysts need to create a new database. Data analysts need to create a new database called OLAP database. Data analyst need to create a new database called OLAP create reports, guys. So as OLTPs are not useful for creating the report, data analyst will go and create a new database. This is a brand new database. We call it as OLAP, which will be developed from the scratch. And the database, we generally use it for creating the reports. Okay, now we are telling that you'll create a new database called OLAP to create the reports, right? What is the full form for OLAP? Online analytical processing. I'll tell you how you got this name. So as it is a new database, we need to transfer the data from OLTP database to OLAP database. This is a brand new database which we are building. Currently, business data is there in the OLTP. The data we need to transfer it here. To transfer the data from one place to another place, we'll use some softwares called ETL. At that point, to move the data from OLTP to OLAP database, we will use ETL softwares, guys. We will use what softwares? ETL software. We will use ETL software to move the data. Yes. Now, ETL stands for extract, transform, load. You guys will get the clarity. Please concentrate for a few minutes. Now, what data we will move from OLTP to OLAP is, it is not required to move all your business data to OLAP. While moving the data from OLTP to OLAP, we need to move only data required for analysis purpose. Try to understand what is the meaning. I'll tell you. Always OLAP need to have only data which you need to show in the reports. The data which I need to show in the reports, that data I call it as data required for analysis. While moving the data from OLTP to OLAP, OLTP might have a lot of data. You don't move all the data to OLAP. You move only data to the OLAP what you need to show in the reports. Now, imagine in OLTP you have 100 tables. How many tables are there? Imagine 100 tables are there. But out of 100 tables data, in the reports, client want to see only 10 tables data. Now, you don't need to move all the 100 tables to OLAP. While moving the tables to the OLAP, you need to move only 10 tables. What tables we require to create these reports? So as you are moving only subset of data, what is required to create the reports or analysis? So we call it as OLAP. OLAP stores, how you got this name is, OLAP stores analytical data. Data required for analysis purpose, data required to create that we call it as analytical data. As it store analytical data, we call it as online analytical processing. In short, we call it as OLAP. Now, when it comes to OLAP, you will have OLAP data in the structured format. What is the advantage of data in the OLAP is, in the OLAP, you will have data in the structured format, not the unstructured format. You said that OLTP contains data in the unstructured. OLAP contains data in the structured. Now, if you see, OLAP is getting the data from OLTP only. When OLTP unstructured, how OLAP is becoming to structured is because in between there is a process called ETL. In ETL, E stands for extracting the 10 tables. How many tables you are going to extract? 10 tables. T stands for transform. This is the major work. Transform. Transform means you will convert unstructured data to what? Structured. Converting unstructured data to structured, we call it as transform. The transformed data will be stored in where? OLAP. OLAP will store the data in the structured format. You cleaned it already. So the meaning is what data we required, we will take it. We'll clean it or transform it. We'll clean or transform. And the data we will store in a separate database called OLAP. and that data we will use it for creating the reports. You look at this kind of reports. I showed a lot of reports to you, right? You tell me this kind of reports will be created on OLTP or OLAP. Whatever the report you are looking at here, these reports will be created on OLTP or OLAP. Online people, someone tell me. You create this kind of reports on OLTP or OLAP?
OLAP.
OLAP. Always we need to use OLAP database to create the reports. Okay, now let me tell you what is unstructured data, why OLTPs are not useful for creating the reports. What is structured data? Why we required structured data to create the reports? Let me show you with small example. I don't make it complicated. A small example I'll take. Look at this. Now I have two tables. Take the first table as OLTP table. Take the second table as OLAP table. How you will move the data from OLTP to OLAP? To move the data from OLTP to OLAP, we'll use some softwares called what? ETL. Generally, OLTP will get the data from many people, guys. You take in Flipkart or Amazon, one customer will place the order or thousands of customers will place the order. Thousands of customers will come and place the order and get the data into OLTP. So when I ask thousands of customers to write the country name, I ask thousands of customers to write the country name. Will everyone write the country name in the same format? One person write the country name like United States. Second person write like US. Third person U.S.US.USD. Each person write the data, input the data here. When I ask my customers to write their country name, each customer written their country name in different formats. That kind of data I call it as unstructured. As OLTPs get the data from different people, different places, you'll get different formats data. That is what we call it as unstructured data. But we will understand this data is not useful for creating the reports I'm telling. First, we need to clean this data. We need to make it into a consistent format. We need to take the data to the ETL software and we need to clean it. So when you take this data to the ETL software, you'll convert US to United States. You'll convert U.S. to United States. You'll convert US to United States, USA to United States. All these conversions will be done in ETL. So now every data is in the same format here. When every data is in the same format here, we call that as structured format. This week, who is drawing, guys? We call it a structured format. What format it is? Structured format. Just a second. What we finally said? OLAP will have data in the structured format. So where you are doing this cleaning? ETL. Now just jump into the next slide. I'm just going to the next slide now. I'm just going to the next slide. Just a second. So I'm just going to the next slide now. Look at this next slide. In the next slide, this is OLTP, guys. I try to create the visual directly on OLTP. When I try to create the visual country-wise sales, I try to use this OLTP database to create this visual. When I shared this visual with my company people said this visual is wrong. Someone tell me, online people, why this visual is wrong? Online people tell me why this visual is wrong.
Because the country names are not similar. It's different.
That is not the reason. Okay. So I cannot do any analysis. In reality, my company is doing the business in only 2 countries. Clients want to see only 2 sales values here. But it is telling that 7 different country names here, 7 different sales numbers. Can I do any analysis using this visual? Is no. The problem is not with this visual. The problem is with this data. This data. The problem is with this data. Now go to the next slide. This is the OLAP database. This time using OLAP database, I create the visual. I'm trying to show country-wise sales. Same information again. This time similar names it will group. 1 and it will sum all the sales value. It will sum these 5 numbers. When you sum it, you will get 1500. It will group United Kingdom as one value. 100 plus 200, 300. When I share this visual with my company people said this visual is correct. We are doing the business in 2 countries. One is United States, second one is United Kingdom. United States is doing more sales. United Kingdom is doing less sales. We can do some analysis here. So that is what I said. When you try to create the visuals directly on OLTP, in the visuals, you don't get meaningful result. So the data required cleaning, we will do it in ETL. That data need to be stored somewhere. That we call it as OLAP. That data we will use it for creating the reports. Then reports will show meaningful result. I hope you understand. What is OLTP, what is ETL, what is OLAP? Using the OLAP only, we'll go and create the reports. We will see everything what we are discussing theoretically in the coming classes practically. Okay, now try to understand another point. The information which we are showing in the reports, you are seeing some information in the reports, right? We call it as actionable information. The information which we show, we call it as actionable information, guys. So why we call the information which you shown in the reports, that data, I call it as actionable information. Why I call the data which is shown in the reports a meaningful information or actionable information is, using the data available here, clients will take the actions. Look at this. Why I am calling the data which is available in this visual as actionable information is, when I share this visual with my clients, using the data available here, my clients will take actions or my clients will take decisions. Actions are nothing but decisions. By using the data available in the visual as we are taking the actions or decisions, we call this information as actionable information, guys. What we call this as? I said already, when I share this visual with my company people, my company planning to stop selling suppliers, bookcases, tables. It's an action or decision. Such kind of decisions companies will take using this data and the visuals. Now go and see the definition, revisit the definition of data analysis now. What is the definition I said? So I said that data analysis is a 5-step process. This 5-step process name is data analysis. What it will do, which will convert business data into actionable information. Where do I have business data? In OLTPs, companies will store their day-to-day transactions, sometimes in unstructured format. To convert that business data into actionable information, first we need to bring and clean the data in ETL. That clean data need to store in OLAP database. That you will use it for creating the reports. That report will contain actionable information. Any company, to convert the business data into actionable information, they need to perform 3 major steps. One major step they need to perform is ETL. Second major step they need to perform is creating OLAP database. Third major step they need to perform is creating reports. Sharing the reports to the client is an easy task. It's not a major task, right? That is what about data analysis, guys. By this time, people got an idea what is data analysis. Yes, if you know data analysis, then only you can understand Power BI. Now we are going to understand what is Power BI. What is the next step you are going to understand now? What is Power BI, right? Let me tell you what is Power BI. Power BI is the name for who developed Power BI? Online people. Microsoft is the company developed Power BI, right? Someone tell me what is the reason Microsoft developed Power BI? For doing what Microsoft developed Power BI? For doing what type of work Microsoft developed Power BI? No doubt, Microsoft developed Power BI to do these 5 steps. Microsoft company developed Power BI. So Microsoft understand that every company need to do this data analysis. In order to do this data analysis, they required a software. That software is Power BI. Now, first point you need to know about Power BI is, Power BI is the name for collection of softwares. Power BI is the name for collection of softwares. Multiple softwares will be there. What are the different softwares available in Power BI is, first software we have is Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop. Let me write, guys. Second software we have is Power BI Service. Third software we have is Power BI Report Server. Fourth software we have is Power BI Mobile. Power BI Mobile. Power BI totally have 4 different softwares in it. So I call them as collection of softwares. For that, Microsoft given the name called Power BI. Okay. Out of these 4 softwares are used to do what? Using these 4 softwares, we need to do this complete data analysis. We'll tell you how to do it. Now, out of the 4 softwares, the major software here is Power BI Desktop, guys. Power BI Desktop is a development software in Power BI. Development software in Power BI. In this software will work 80 to 90% of time. 80 to 90% of time will work in Power BI Desktop, guys. Power BI Desktop is a development software. You'll work 80 to 90, around 90, I can say 90% of Power BI developer time. He'll work in desktop only. Remaining three softwares are small softwares. This is the major one. These are small softwares. We hardly work for 10% of time. So now, to make you understand better, I'll open Power BI architecture. So this is Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop, this is Power BI Desktop. Again, it contains internally multiple softwares. Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View. These are the three softwares you have. Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View. So we need to use these three softwares also. Internally, write that point. So internally in Power BI Desktop, there are three more softwares. First one you have is what? Power Query. Second one we have is what? Power Pivot or Power Pivot. And third one we have is what? Power View. These are the multiple softwares available. I clearly write Power BI contains what softwares in it. Now you need to learn using the softwares how to do this data analysis. These 5 steps. Tomorrow when you learn Power BI, you become a Power BI data analyst. Because people who learn Power BI, they will call it as what? Power BI data analyst. When you become a Power BI data analyst, you'll go and join one company. After you learn this course, you will learn this course for 2 months of time. 2 months. You people will learn Power BI for 2 months. After 2 months, you will become a Power BI data analyst. After you become a Power BI data analyst, you will go and join in one company. You want to, in that company, you need to do this data analysis using Power BI. Someone tell me, to the Power BI data analyst, who will provide to the Power BI, within 2 months, you will become a Power BI data analyst, right? Once you become a Power BI data analyst, when you join in the company, who will provide this OLTPs? Companies will provide. OLTP is already there. Company will hand over it to Power BI data analyst. Once company provided it, first step, what Power BI data analyst need to do? We know that OLTPs will have unstructured data. We need to take the data to ETL software. We need to clean the data. In Power BI, where we will clean the data is using a software called Power Query. You need to know where we do ETL. First step data analyst need to do is ETL. You will do it in Power Query. So write that point. Power Query is an ETL software in Power BI. Power Query is an ETL software in where? Power BI. Okay, you can see in the architecture slide. Power Query, I written ETL software. It will connect to data source, extract the data. In Power Query, it will transform the data. The transformed data will be loaded into Power Pivot. In the Power Pivot, it will design OLAP database. Okay, that's fine. You will learn more about it in the coming classes. Now, okay, OLTP was provided by my company. ETL was performed in the Power Query. After ETL, what is the next step Power BI data analyst need to do? Power BI data analyst need to create OLAP database. Where we will create OLAP database in Power BI is in Power Pivot case. Power Pivot is a database here. Power Pivot is a database which is used to create which one? OLAP. In order to create OLAP, Power Pivot is a database which is used to create what? OLAP. Power Pivot is a database. You see here how SQL Server is one database, how Oracle is one database. In the similar note, Power Pivot is also one database. How we will store the data in the SQL Server in the form of tables. How we will store the data in the Oracle in the form of tables. Power Pivot also store the data in the form of tables. You extracted the tables, you transform the data in the tables, you load the tables to Power Pivot case. The tables and all store in Power Pivot. It's a database. You load the tables will use it and design OLAP. Right. You'll learn more about Power Pivot. Power Pivot is a database, I'm telling. Okay. So once you do ETL in the Power Query, once you create OLAP database in the Power Pivot, next step is we need to create reports. Where we will create the reports is using a software called Power View. There will be another software with the name Power View. That Power View is used to create the reports, guys. Write that point. Power View is a software which is used to create the reports. Power View is a software which is used to create which one? Reports. You can see here, architecture slide. A Power View is a software which is used to create visual reports. That visual reports contains actionable information. That actionable information finally we need to share with the clients. So important point is Power BI Desktop don't have an option to share this report with the client. So Power BI Desktop directly it cannot share. We need to first publish that report to Power BI service. From there we need to share with the clients. Or we need to publish the report to Power BI report server. From there we need to share with the clients. Try to understand. We'll share the reports to the clients by publishing it, guys. Write that down. Power BI service. Now the question is, I'm telling to share the reports with the clients, I can use Power BI service. I can use Power BI report server also. Power BI report server, either one. So now important point is, to do ETL, I have only Power Query. To do ETL, we have only Power Query. To create OLAP database, we have only Power Pivot. To create reports, we have only Power View. But to share the reports to the clients, we have Power BI service and report server. There are two softwares which are doing the same duplicate work. So why? There are two. No company will use both of them, guys. So what a company will use is, a company will use either Power BI service or a company will use Power BI report server. Either one. Once you develop the report, either we will publish it to Power BI service, from there we will share it, or we will publish it to Power BI report server. We'll share. What is the difference is, one is a cloud version. Second one is an on-premise version. So a company will use a cloud version or on-premise version. 99% of the companies, they're using cloud to share the reports. Only 1% of the companies they're using on-premise. No company want to use both. A company need to use either cloud or on-premise, right? That point. What is the difference is, Power BI service is a Azure cloud-based software which is used to share the reports to the clients, How much percentage of companies are using? Only 1% of companies, sorry guys, 99% of companies, they're using this cloud. Power BI report server is a on-premise server, on-premise software, which is used to share the reports with the clients, to the client. How much percentage of clients are using? Only 1% of clients are using it. Okay, guys. Once you develop the reports in the Power BI Desktop, either we can publish it to Power BI service or either publish it to Power BI report server. From there, we need to share with clients. From there, we need to share the reports to the clients, guys. Okay. So these are the different softwares available in Power BI. If you can see, I clearly listed what are the different softwares available in Power BI. So finally, we understand that ETL will be performed using a software called what? Power Query. OLAP database will be created using a software called what? OLAP database will be created using a software called what? Power Pivot. Reports will be generated using a software called what? Power View. That reports we will share with the clients using what? Mostly Power BI service. Okay, what we understand is, in Power View, whatever the reports we created, we can publish that reports to either Power BI service or Power BI report server. From there, we will share with the clients, we said. Once you share the reports to the clients, where the clients can see that report is, imagine like this. I send an email to you. When I send a Gmail to you, where are the places you can check the Gmail? Gmail you can check in your laptops, or you can check that Gmail in the desktops. You can even check that Gmail in the mobile phones also, right? Here also, whenever from Power BI service, I share the report to the clients, clients can check the reports in their laptops. They can check from the desktops, and they can even check it in the mobile phones also. In order to check the reports in the mobile, they require something called mobile app. What they required? Mobile app. What is the mobile app Microsoft developed is Power BI Mobile. If you go and see, there is a mobile. If you go to Play Store or App Store, if you search with the name Power BI Mobile, you'll find a mobile app. Power BI Mobile, it's what? It's a mobile app which is used for what purpose? Tell me, guys, online people. It's a mobile app which is used to what? View
Check
the
the reports.
reports in where? Using
Mobile.
mobiles or tabs or iPads. Whenever we need to check the reports either in the mobiles or tabs or iPads, we require a mobile app. That mobile app name is Power BI Mobile. Who will install this mobile app? Clients or developers? Who will install this mobile app? Clients or developers? Clients. Clients. Who want to view the reports? Clients. Now you people tell me, these are the different softwares available in Power BI. Using the softwares, can I able to do this complete data analysis? You can do it. Who will provide the OLTPs? I said companies will provide you. Where we do ETL? Using Power Query software. In Power BI, where we will create OLAP? Using Power Pivot software. In Power BI, where we will create reports? Using Power View software. Last step is you need to share the reports to the clients. For that, we mostly use Power BI service. 99% of the companies, they're using Power BI service to share the reports to the clients. And once you share the reports to the clients, most of the clients will see the reports in the mobiles using a mobile app with the name called what? Power BI Mobile, guys. These are the different softwares available in Power BI. These softwares we will use. I said that Microsoft developed Power BI to perform what? Data analysis. If someone asks you, tell me what is Power BI? The best answer you can give it is, so what is Power BI? You need to tell Power BI is the name for what? Collection of softwares. These are the multiple softwares available in Power BI. That collection of softwares are used. It is the name for collection of softwares which are used to perform what? Which are used to perform which one? Data analysis. Okay, this is the definition for Power BI. By this time, you hope you got an idea. First 40 minutes, I explain about 40 minutes of time. I explain about what is data analysis, what are these 5 steps, what ETL means, what is OLAP, what is this reports, why we need to share. And next 15 minutes, we discussed about what is Power BI. Now, lastly, let me consolidate this two. In 1 or 2 lines, I'll tell you how to perform data analysis using. Now you know what is data analysis and you know what is there in Power BI. Now we will try to understand how to perform data analysis using Power BI. In the data analysis, what is the first step? First step is OLTPs. Who will provide the OLTPs? I said companies will provide. So second step in the data analysis is ETL. We guys said no, where we do ETL. Tell me where you, in which specific software you will do ETL in Power BI, I said? Which specific software I said? Power Query. So what is the next step after ETL? Creating OLAP database. Which specific software will use in Power BI? Power Pivot. And once after creating the OLAP, you need to create reports. In Power BI, which software we will use to create the reports is Power View. Power View. Finally, once you create the reports, that reports you need to share with the clients. Share reports to whom? Clients. That you can done using which software I said? Power BI service, guys. Power BI service. So what you need to learn in the Power BI course is, in the Power BI course, first you need to learn whatever the data company provide, how to do that, using the data, how to do ETL in the Power Query you need to learn. I'm going to teach Power Query for 13 hours of time. How many hours you will learn? So the total Power BI course, I'll discuss 60 hours of time, guys. I'll tell you the breakdown of 60 hours, what I will teach. In the 60 hours, who will provide the OLTPs to the Power BI data analyst? Company. First step, you will learn in ETL how to, in Power Query, how to do ETL for 13 hours of time. After that, I'll tell you in OLAP, in Power Pivot, how to create OLAP for 17 hours of time. Then I'll teach you in Power View how to generate the reports. You will learn for 17 hours of time. And then finally, you will learn Power BI service, how it is used to share the reports for 13 hours of time. So we will see, this is the high level breakdown of 60 hours. I'll discuss more about it now. So by this time, we are done with the technical part of today's demo, guys. In the last 1 hour, you people learn about what is data analysis, what is Power BI, how to perform data analysis using Power BI. Now I'll discuss some general points, guys. These general points are important to understand. You need to understand this general point in order to learn Power BI or in order to get the job on Power BI. Some general points I'm going to discuss about Power BI. What you need to, who can learn Power BI, what you will learn, what kind of jobs you can apply, what kind of skill set they'll ask. Such kind of questions I'll answer it now. These points are important in order to learn Power BI and get the job in Power BI. I instead of typing those points, I'll copy paste it from one of the previous batch notepad and I'll explain it. I'm just going to one of the previous batch notepad. There are a lot of points which I need to discuss. Fine. Let's see that one by one. It doesn't take much time, hardly few minutes. So two more classes you can, today you attended the free demo, right? You can attend two more classes for free. So when I'm going to start a new batches, just remove this. It was started long back. I'm going to start a new batch tomorrow. New batch will start tomorrow, 3rd December, Wednesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. At what time the batch will start? 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Every day 1 hour, same timings for the next 2 months. The next 2 months, this batch timings will be 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Which will start from a new batch from the scratch tomorrow. You can attend tomorrow's class and day after tomorrow's class free. Wednesday and Thursday class, you can attend free. What I'm going to discuss in the next 2 free classes is I'll start discussing about the practicals. Today we discussed only theory. I don't show you how to do ETL, how to create OLAP database, how to create the reports. I don't show one practical option also. Everything I discussed today, theory, how the Power BI will work. That what theory I discussed in the next 2 classes, you will learn that practically at night. See, in the next 2 classes, in the immediate class tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Next class continuation to today's class tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Power BI developer work will start in where? Power BI desktop. I said that this data who will provide? OLTPs or data sources is the place where companies store their data. That will be provided by the company. Power BI developer work will start in Power BI desktop. In tomorrow's class, I'll tell you how to install what? Power BI desktop. After I install Power BI desktop, I'll show you how to open Power Query and how to do what? ETL. Then I'll tell you how to open Power Pivot, how to create a OLAP database. Then I'll tell you how to open Power View, how to create the reports. Then I'll tell you how to publish the report to Power BI service, how to share that report to what? Clients. This complete Power BI process, what we theoretically learn today, you'll practically learn in tomorrow's class, guys. So practically at a high level, how the Power BI software will work, you'll learn in what? Next 2 free classes. So that will not cost you anything. You just join next 2 free classes so that you'll get an idea what the Power BI software can do practically. Now you are going to get one mail. Within few minutes, I'm going to drop one mail. That mail will contain what things are is. That mail will have this recorded session. I already recorded this session, right? I'm going to share this recorded session with you. Along with the recording, I write a lot of notes in the last 1 hour. In the notepad, by using this notepad, I write a lot of notes, right? I'm going to attach these notes also in the email. Along with this notepad, you'll get introduction class Word document. Every class, you'll get this kind of Word documents. So every topic you'll get one Word document. Every class or every topic you'll get one Word document. Today we have introduction. This is the introduction class Word document. I'm going to attach this Word document in the mail. Just go through it once. Along with this, the last one you are going to get is course content, guys. What curriculum I'm going to cover in the next 60 hours, more than 2 months of time. Classes will be from where? Monday to Saturday. So daily 1 hour. If I want to discuss Monday to Saturday daily 1 hour, it takes more than 2 months. So more than 2 months of time, what content I'm going to cover? I'm going to attach that content, guys. So this is the course content. I'm going to attach this course content in the mail. You please walk through it. I don't want to walk through every point. It takes a lot of time. This content have how many pages? 11 pages. I clearly listed the topic by topic here, what I will be cover. Every point what I listed in my course content, I will discuss with real-time examples for next 60 hours, guys. So you can walk through, you can see what topics I'll cover. Now, I will not go and walk through in detail, but let me tell you high-level breakdown. High-level breakdown. Power BI is used for what? Performing data analysis. How to perform data analysis in Power BI? You people will learn for what? Next 60 hours, more than 2 months. In that next 60 hours of time, I'm giving the breakdown, guys. This is the data analysis, right? 5 steps. We know that OLTPs will be provided by the companies. First step, we need to do what? ETL. ETL will be done using which software I said? Power Query. You will learn Power Query for how many hours? 13 hours. What you will learn in the Power Query software? How to do the ETL. While you are doing the ETL, you will learn about a language called what? Mashup language. Power Query uses one separate language, mashup language, that you will learn in the Power Query. Okay, we'll learn more about this. Next step is what? You need to create what? OLAP. Using what software? PowerPoint. We'll start PowerPoint and we'll discuss for how many hours? 17 hours. There we need to learn how to create OLAP database. To create OLAP database, we need to learn some concepts called data modeling concepts, data warehousing concepts, and DAX language. DAX is another language which will be used in OLAP. In PowerPoint. Power Query uses what language I said? MR? MR mashup language. Power Pivot uses what language we are telling here? DAX language. So you'll learn it. What is DAX language? This is an important language for Power BI developer. So once you create OLAP, next step is what? Creating reports. Where? Power View. You will start Power View then, and you'll learn 17 hours of time how to create the reports. After that, you will share the reports to whom? Clients. In order to share the reports to clients, you'll use Power BI service. We'll start learning Power BI service for 13 hours. At the time you learn Power BI service, what are the things you learn is, you learn what? Azure cloud concepts, admin related concepts, and Power BI project. So this course not only include the topics, this 60 hours course, not only include the topics in Power BI. What add-ons you'll get from the course is, we will cover real-time projects. Let me show you how the projects will look like. This kind of projects you will do it. This is the requirement document. Just a second. This is the requirement document. So in this project, we'll take the data from which database? SQL Server database. How many tables you will extract? 9 tables. These are the different tables we want to extract. There are requirements, what ETL you need to do. There are requirements how to create the database, OLAP database like this. So this is the requirement document which have how many pages? 26 pages requirements will have. We'll go and read the requirements. As per the requirements, we'll develop the projects, guys. We'll develop the projects. So you will not only learn real-time projects. So I want to explain these points. Before I explain these points, remaining 3 points I'll explain. Before I explain this point, let me tell you who are the people can learn Power BI. So who are the people can learn Power BI? Freshers can learn Power BI. Who can learn Power BI? Freshers. So imagine who can be considered as freshers? Who can be considered as freshers? 2024 complete. Who complete 2025? So these people can be considered as what? Freshers. Once you learn Power BI freshers, so you can just learn this course and you can apply for the job. There are a lot of opportunities available for freshers. What is the second category of people who can learn Power BI means career break or career gap. What is this career break or career gap means? There are some people who complete their education in the year 2017 or 2018 or between this 2020 you completed it. Somehow you are not working anywhere. So for some reasons, you will be treated as what? Career break, right? So these people, you are good to learn Power BI, but these people to get the job, must and should they want to keep the experience, guys. What they want to keep? These people will not get the job as a fresher. They want to keep the experience. So they want to keep 3 to 5 years of experience, guys. How many years of experience they want to keep? 3 to 5 years of experience. There will be some consultancies, guys. There will be what? Consultancies who will provide this experience to you. You'll purchase some experience from them and you'll try for the job as experienced. Power BI is the best tool for these people, guys. What is the reason I'm telling is, why not Java? If you learn Java and if you want to keep 3 to 5 years of experience, you might need to write a lot of code. There will be a lot of expectations from you. So Java is all about coding. Any coding related technologies, if you keep the experience, not that easy to survive. See, getting the job is one important thing. Tomorrow, once you get the job, survival is the important thing, second important thing. So Power BI is a tool where we can do work with drag and drop. What? 90% of work in the Power BI without coding is. 10% we will write the code. That code also not dozens of lines of code, 1 or 2 lines of code. So even if you keep 3 to 5 years of experience, as there is no much coding, you can survive. So for career break people or career gap people, best to learn Power BI and go to some consultancy, purchase some experience and try as an experience. This course, 60 hours course, I purely designed for experienced people, guys. So when you are done with the 60 hours course, you can comfortably keep 3 to 5 years of experience. The person who do 3 Power BI projects, what technical skills you have, that much skills you will gain from this course. Not only the career break people, another people who can learn is what? Career transition. Career transition means already they are working. They are working in either non-IT side or they are working already in the IT side. In the IT side, QA side, they are working, or they are working in customer support side, or they are working in admin side. You want to switch into data analytics side. So, in order to switch your career, Power BI is the best tool. Even the career transition people also must and should want to keep some 3 to 5 years of experience. See, freshers no need to keep any experience. Career gap people or career transition people want to keep minimum what? 3 to 5 years. Then only you can apply for the jobs. I'll tell you whether you are working in non-IT or IT, how to convert your previous experience to Power BI experience, how to prepare the profiles. We'll talk about it. So finally, final conclusion is Power BI have job opportunities for freshers as well as what? Experienced. Now, if you keep 3 to 5 years of experience, how many years of experience? 3 to 5 years. Must and should you need to know Power BI developer roles and responsibilities. When you join in the project as a Power BI developer, what are the roles and responsibilities we'll have? We need to learn. In this curriculum, we are going to discuss clearly what are the different roles and responsibilities a Power BI developer will have. Power BI developer, what are the roles and responsibilities they'll have? So we will discuss with real-time examples, guys. Okay, once you understand these roles and responsibilities, we not only discuss this, I'll help you in preparing your resumes. I'll talk to one-on-one. I'll just came to know whether you are a fresher or career gap person or career transition person. What is the best way we will prepare your resume and look for the new job we'll discuss. And we also provide a lot of interview questions and we'll discuss them. And we'll conduct what? Mock interviews. I promise you, once you are done with 60 hours of training, you can comfortably keep 3 to 5 years of experience. And importantly, every class recording we will share with you, and you can use it for your reference purpose. And when you are doing practice, you'll have a dedicated supporting team who will help you to clarify all your questions, guys. Right? So so we have a dedicated supporting. You are doing some practice, you got some question, and to answer that question, you no need to wait for the trainer all the time. We have a separate team of people who you can approach them. They will rectify your questions, guys. So they are physically available in office. They can even available in phones, and they can available in this kind of meeting platforms also. They will clarify your questions. If you are not able to get support from that, if you are not able to clarify the question from them, you can reach out to me. This is what I'm going to cover in the next 60 hours, guys. I clearly listed here what is the breakdown of this 2 months 60 hours, what things you are going to get, how much experience you can keep. So as I said, when you are done with the 60 hours of training, you can comfortably keep 3 to 5 years of experience on Power BI. It's my promise, guys. Okay, next one. We discuss this. We'll go with the questions. What is the common question people will ask is, okay, I'm interested to learn Power BI. Any prerequisite to learn Power BI? So there are some people who are attending this class from non-IT background who don't have prior computer knowledge. So is it I'm eligible to learn this course? I can strictly tell no prerequisite to learn Power BI. I'll start Power BI from very basic to advanced, guys. Very basic to what? Advanced. Even without any prior knowledge, you can comfortably start working on Power BI. Comfortably start working on what software? Power BI, guys. To get the job on Power BI, what is mandatory? SQL is mandatory. Okay, to learn Power BI, I can say one point here. So I'm telling that to get the job on Power BI, what is mandatory? SQL is mandatory. Let's try to understand what is the SQL. If you go and look at the Power BI jobs, 90% of Power BI jobs, you will see in the combination of what? Power BI plus SQL. If you see some jobs, they'll ask Power BI plus SQL plus Excel. Some jobs, they'll ask Power BI plus SQL plus Python. Some jobs, Power BI SQL plus Power Apps. Some jobs, Power BI SQL plus ADF. Some jobs, Power BI plus SQL plus Tableau. So this percentage jobs are less. Major jobs are in the combination of what? Power BI and SQL. So what is the SQL? SQL stands for what? Structured query language. It's a common language which is used in all these databases. All the relational databases can understand one common language called what? SQL, guys. So let's try to explain this. What is SQL? So important thing you need to understand is this SQL I nowhere use in Power BI. SQL is not used to extract the tables. SQL is not used to do the ETL in the Power Query. SQL is not used to create OLAP database in PowerPoint. SQL is not used in Power View to create the report. SQL is not used to publish the reports and share the reports to the clients. Throughout this process, nowhere I use SQL. Without knowing one line of SQL code also, I can complete the Power BI project. When you can complete the Power BI project without doing SQL, then why all the Power BI jobs they're asking SQL? Online people, someone please tell me. So I said that nowhere in Power BI I don't use SQL. Even when I don't know SQL, single line of SQL code, I can complete the Power BI project. When you can complete throughout the complete project without SQL, so why don't they give the job on only Power BI? Why they're asking? See, tomorrow when you go for Power BI interview, 80% of questions they'll ask from Power BI, 20% of questions must and should they'll ask from where? SQL. Why they'll ask the questions SQL mandatorily? Why? Yes, tell me. Online people, if you know, you tell me. Don't know. No idea, right? Right. What is the reason? Online people, just tell me, guys. So what is the reason is you take mostly companies will store the business data in the databases. Most of the companies store their business data in where? Databases. Tomorrow when you join in the company as a Power BI developer, to the Power BI developer, company will provide one database. Might be any database, SQL Server database, Oracle database, or whatever it is. You'll take the data, you'll do ETL, you'll load the data, you'll create OLAP, you'll use that OLAP, and you'll generate the reports. How can you blindly tell your report is correct? You are moving the data from multiple places to multiple softwares. There is a chance you might do the mistake in Power Query. You might do the mistake in PowerPoint. You might do the mistake in Power View. You might be showing the wrong number here. Can I share the wrong numbers to the clients? Means when you share the wrong numbers to the clients, they'll take the wrong decisions, guys. So after you develop the report, whatever the numbers you are showing in the report, whether they are correct or not, we need to check it, whether they are correct or not. So in order to check that numbers whether correct or not, you need to go to the database and you need to check it. So in the database can understand only one language called what? SQL language. Using the SQL language, you will write some query. In order to write the query using SQL language, you people need to know SQL knowledge. When you write the query, that query will give some output. That output you need to compare with what? The report output or visual output. Now you read here, SQL is not used anywhere in the development phase of Power BI project. You can start learning Power BI without knowing SQL also. You can complete the Power BI project. But after you develop the report, Power BI developer need to test the numbers in the report. For that, you need to write what queries? SQL. SQL is used to test the data in the reports. To develop the reports, what you don't want? SQL not required. To test the report, what you want? SQL is required. What you required? SQL. So in order to learn the SQL, you need to learn one database, guys. Any database. I said that SQL concepts are common in any database. Whether you learn MySQL database or whether you learn SQL Server database, whether you learn Oracle database or DB2 database, the SQL concepts what they are going to teach is common. In our training institute, we are teaching which database? SQL Server. Where in the database you will learn what? All the SQL concepts. You learn the SQL concepts, all the SQL concepts for how many hours? 40 hours. Only learning Power BI will not give you the job. If you already know SQL, you go and learn Power BI for how many hours? 60 hours, where you will learn how to develop the reports. I'm the one who will teach it. So if you don't know SQL, again, you need to opt for another course called SQL Server, where we'll teach SQL concepts for how many hours? 40 hours, which will help you for data validation or testing the reports. Venkatesh sir will teach it. So this is what we are going to. So these are my friend desk team numbers. So you can talk to them. If you want only Power BI, the fee will be different. If you want Power BI and SQL combination, the fee will be different. You please talk to the friend desk team. They will provide the details, guys. So I'm done with the demo now. So There is no dependency. It's not mandatory that first you need to know SQL, then you need to learn Power BI. Without knowing SQL also, you can start Power BI. The reason behind it is, I don't use SQL anywhere in where? Power BI development. Only it is used after you develop the report to check that numbers are correct or not. Only that place I'll use it. Fine. I'm done with the demo. We'll go with the questions now, guys. Anybody have any questions from today's class?
Yes, good afternoon, students, sir. This is Vikas.